Morning, everybody, and welcome back to the new segment on this channel where we bring you a higher perspective on business. Today's discussion is brought to you by Forterature as well as FortressLands.com, and I'm your host, Trey. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Instagram on Mr. Fortress, Mr. the number 4, TRESS, Fortress Lens, Forterature, and also check out my website on www.fortresslens.com. And I have a very, very special guest on the other line from right here in the beautiful state of California. She's a money, financial, business, and personal development coach. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sis.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Farah Robinson. Hey, I am a success strategist and I look forward to having fun with you here. And Fortress, thank you for this time. I love what I do. I love making an impact. I think that we are all called to have an impact, to share the knowledge, the skills that we have. And as a financial consultant, this is one of the areas that I've been able to do that. So I am able to provide consulting services to companies and to individuals as well.
Said that greatly. I love that. I love that. Now I know there's a lot of things going on right now. I don't know how this has impacted your business with the COVID-19 going on around. Everybody's hiding. It's raining outside. How do you, how are you holding up with what's going on around right now?
Well, personally, things for our business, things are still running. They're actually a lot busier now because the financial market is not as steady, to say the least. That's actually an understatement, right?
Right.
Things have been kind of going upside down, and a lot of people have a lot of questions. People need more money, need more advice, and there's so it's been busy. It really has been busy, and being in my industry, we're one of the 16 companies listed that should stay open because we provide some things that are necessary to kind of keep people going.
Right.
Not only do we provide the financial part, but in finances, we also provide insurances. So that's been an interesting time right now because we're learning things that haven't happened before.
Right.
And then we can look back to when we had a time like this, when the last time we were looking at a recession and looking at those notes and saying, okay, how can we implement it in a different climate altogether?
Right.
Right? There's just a lot of changes happening. And the biggest thing is really people trying to figure out how do they make the right choices. And it's interesting. I'm pretty excited to see people looking to actually make the right choices.
Right.
Because the questions I'm getting, Fortress, right now are things like, hey, if I get this, some will call it the stimulus check, the economic recovery check, right? If I get this money from the government and my landlord is telling me not to pay rent and, I've deferred my car payments and they're saying, don't worry about it. Do I pay rent when I have some money or do I not?
Right. That is amazing. That's a very pregnant question too. But surprisingly, on a financial standpoint, I know that a lot of people, especially investors, they are the sharks right now swimming in the ocean with big smiley faces on them, right? Because when the economy goes upside down, it's an opportunity for some, right? Now, the question is, for regular people who are not really privy to investment, or rather who are not so aware of how to handle their money, what advice would you give them?
Well, the thing is, with wealth comes a lot of great responsibility. And the first part of building wealth, the sharks don't become sharks because they woke up one day and decided to be a shark. Yeah, that's you've got to decide to be it, and you just don't become it overnight, right?
Okay.
But they've learned the market. They've taken years. They've taken dips. They've taken hits, and they know when. The difference between most people who can survive it, most people who know how to place the next call right now in this climate are the people that do the evaluation of their companies and the stocks that they choose properly. And that are willing to do the homework and that are willing to actually be in the game, like get dirty, like getting in the mud with the game, right?
Right.
So most people who call themselves, hey, I don't know what's happening, or, you know, we're not so good, or we're not that wealthy in the market. The question is, when you were doing your homework and when you were choosing your investments, how did you choose them? What made you choose them? And right now, when you're looking to get into the market, what exactly should you be looking for? Who's giving you the advice that you need?
Right. It's actually true. So everyone needs help around this time, right? Especially in the aspect of financial planning. Whether it's investing, tax planning, you know, estate planning, debt management.
Absolutely.
And a lot of other topics right there. Money can truly be complicated. Now, asking for help from a professional financial advisor when you need it is certainly better. I mean, it's a better option than making a costly mistake that you don't even realize you just made a mistake until it's too late.
Absolutely.
To do anything about it. So why isn't this taught in schools?
That's an interesting part. School has its place. But financial education is your own personal responsibility.
Wow.
I cannot answer how and why it's not taught in education. But the reality, you know, I was trying to find the best word here, that the reality of life is you don't stop learning.
Okay.
Now, the minute you leave school, you've gotten your engine going so that it is ready to learn the real game of life when you leave school. And fortunately now, most of us who are now parents and you have children, you now teach them while they're in school to actually learn how the real world outside works.
Right.
So financial education is your personal social responsibility. So this is part of you being responsible for yourself so that you don't become a burden to other people, so that you don't become a burden also to even your country and your government, right? So you should learn, you should continue to learn after school. So we can throw stones at why the school and the education system doesn't do it. Well, it doesn't. It does its part. But then you've got to pick up and ask yourself, what is my part? What is it that I'm supposed to learn? And if I don't know it, where can I go to get that knowledge from, right?
Right.
And what you mentioned is that, hey, people should go out and seek the help. They should go out and seek the help and not make costly mistakes. But realizing that getting that help, what stops most people, Fortress, is incredible. I always ask people what took them so long, you know, when they come in and they consult with me, or if they ever go somewhere else, I ask them, well, what took you so long until you got to sit with somebody? Most people are not willing to sit down and pay for the advice that they actually need. But yet they are paying dearly with getting accounts and credit cards with high interest rates and that they are stuck with for the next 20, 30 years. They get into terrible mortgage loans and they buy at the wrong time. They sell at the wrong time. They're focusing on the things that cost them more long term, but there's going to be a price to pay for you to learn and getting into investment. So the best and the first thing in everything that you're going to do, be willing to pay the price that you're supposed to for the success.
Wow.
So not everybody who's successful had to give up something, right? And
the money's going to go somewhere anyway.
It's right. It's not just the money that we're talking about at this point. Yeah, you're going to pay a consulting fee. That's part of the game. You want to put in what you need to so that you can learn. And then not only do you invest with just, monetarily, right? But what else you invest with is your time.
Right.
Are you going to be engaged in the game?
Right.
Are you going to take that time out and say, listen, I'm going to take this time out so I can learn this skill and I can actually participate and figure out, hey, what is my plan of saying? What's happening in the market? What questions should I be asking first? How many more questions, follow-up questions, so that I can get in and know what's happening? So I'm glad, like right now, people are actually asking the right questions. Hey, if I do get this check, if the government gives me $1,200, right? So say you get the $1,200. People are asking that. So if I actually get this $1,200, my rent is normally $2,000 or $1,500, depending on where the individual lives, right? So should I take part of it and pay the rent? Should I hold it? And most people are in debt. We already know that, the highest part of our population doesn't have a savings plan. Most people have never heard of an emergency plan, and those that have think that their credit cards are their emergency funds. So now sitting back and thinking and looking at things is, okay, do I dig myself deeper into debt? Now, just because the debt is deferred does not mean that you don't owe it.
Right.
So now the question is, okay, do you want to pile up all this debt towards the end? And how exactly is your financial standpoint right now? Like, how do things look for you as a person, right? Have you sat down and said, okay, during the time that I actually earn, like when I look at my earnings statement, go in and let me dive into this right now, right?
Go
so
ahead.
if you're sitting at home right now and you have nothing else to do, but this is the time that you want to get real with yourself and your finances. You want to look at your bank statements. You want to look at your credit card statements. See where your money is going. Where has your money been going? What is it? Because when you look where your money is going, it's going to tell you your value system. What is important to you? Then you want to adjust that value system. Does it really align with your goals and your plans? Because those people that are being able to take advantage of the market right now, those people that will come out, those people who will be able to buy what other people are dropping for pennies, are people that their financial budgets, their financial lifestyle matches with their core values in life. So they're not spending money going in and buying expensive this and wasting money with this, because they are keeping their money for times like this.
Right.
So that they can take advantage of certain situations. And then when certain programs come up, they're able to start a company and start a business. Right now, there are people spending this time constructively, like honestly sitting down and saying, what company, what industry can I get into?
Right.
And if I get money, how much money would I need to get in? Do I need a business partner? Can I sit down and draw up a business plan? Right? So after you sat down and you're looking at, okay, where has my money gone to? What is really important? Like subscriptions. Do you know how many people's money is taken away every single month by subscriptions they don't even use, Fortress?
Wow.
And that's happened to me in the time.
That's
I don't
true.
know if it's
That's
ever
actually
happened
true.
to you, right?
No, it has. I actually joined a gym, and for some reason, I don't know, it seemed so cheap. And all of a sudden, I'm there signing a contract. This was like $9.99. I'm like, that's nothing, right? But then it turned out I really changed my mind right then and then. But because I'd already signed a document somehow on a computer, when I walked off, they did not disclose that to me. So all of a sudden, every month, the money's coming out. I go back, I say, hey, I'm not interested. But I was under a bind for like a year. And I was not really, I didn't like, it wasn't sanitary. It was just nasty, you know what I'm saying? So I changed my mind. But so I stayed a whole year paying for something I did not want. And so that was money going in the pit. And those are decisions that a lot of people make. And I'm lucky it was just $9.99. But it was $9.99 hard earned. There's a lot of people that actually waste more money. What is your measure of success?
Well, measure of success now, it's going to come back to our core values. And I want to stress this point.
Right.
Because not only do I just provide financial counseling and financial management and advising and all that fun stuff. And I want to put out a disclaimer, because in my industry, there's a lot that goes on. I'm not giving anyone any financial advice per se.
Right.
This is personal information that you can go and use, and you can utilize it any way that you choose to, right? Now, what happens in life is that if you don't have a core, if you are not in tune with who you are, where you want to go, what you stand for, what you stand by, what you stand against, what will stand with your long-term plan or not, then you're really going to be swayed on what success is and personal fulfillment. My goal when I meet with clients and individuals, if I'm coaching someone, whether it's for just personal success and if it's business, The deal with all of that, everything that you want to be able to do should give you some form of fulfillment.
Right.
When you've done all you have done and you're doing what it is that you want to do and you set that goal and you're charging away, does it give you the joy and the fulfillment? At the end of this game, at the end of this road, are you going to feel fulfilled? If you can say yes, then you've reached what it is that you would call personal success. But it's an ongoing thing. Success is not like something you tag and you throw a dot at the wall and then you put it up. You say, yes, I've made it. I'm here. It's being and becoming. You're constantly learning. You're constantly changing. Right. And you know what's incredible? If you look at the person you were, Fortress, like 5 years ago,
right.
You're completely different.
Right.
Some core things stayed the same, but a lot of other things changed in between, right?
Right.
Like you set a goal, and after you meet that goal, what happened? You're like, is this all? Like, maybe I should go a step further, right?
That is crazy.
And then when isn't it?
It is. It's totally. So now, risk tolerance, how do you develop that?
You develop it just like you develop every other skill. It takes time.
Right.
It's going to take time, but then again, it is calculated time.
Right.
So knowing, again, what it is that you want to achieve in life. There are some people that have a bar that's already set and saying, I want to earn X amount of dollars in my life. Mm-hmm. I feel that I am wealthy if I only make 6 figures. Right. And they're completely fine with that. So they will take the risk that only takes them to that level. And no matter how much else advice they're going to get, that's as far as they're willing to go. So someone else says, listen, I'm okay. Someone else says, you know what? I'm okay with being able to expose myself more, to take out more advantages. Right. It just all depends on conditioning and how you see the process of what it is that you're doing. So are you willing to be able to take some hits, to take some losses? Do you understand the journey? I think that most people got to understand the journey, where they're going, why they're going where they're going, how long it's going to take. Right. And what else they have going on. So let's talk about this. If you're talking about things like risk tolerance, mm-hmm. When you're looking at someone who's wealthy, who does take risk, what form of income do they live from? Because many people say, man, my risk tolerance is low. My risk tolerance is this. And I've come to notice that it's because they only have one source of income. So your risk tolerance is low compared to what? Coming from what standpoint? Looking at what? What is the overall picture we are talking about? So let's talk about someone who's a millionaire. We're not even going to billionaires right now, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking at someone who takes risk, right? What are those sources of income? Because if you understand and you have an idea of where your income should come from, what you're willing to do and take advantage of all the abundance that's around you becomes a completely different story. Right. It's not necessarily risk and it's not necessarily just tolerance anymore. Mm-hmm. It makes better sense. And I don't want to spill out what the word is because I normally do this for but don't give your trade secrets. Don't give your trade secrets. Right.
But it's funny because Warren Buffett actually, and I think he's the one who actually said that, referring to just general people. He says your 9 to 5 is the job that you have to cover your expenses for the now. Yeah. But what you do after the 9 to 5 is what should be building wealth. What's your take on that?
That's absolutely true. And let me dive into that. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about this whole area, with the whole, how is it to figure out and be fully focused on really understanding, because I think everything comes from understanding. And without that, whatever it is that you're going to do, you might get success, but it can end up being short-lived without you fully understanding. And then fully understanding, okay, what should it look like, right? So 7 sources of income, your first is going to be your earned income, from your job, right? But millionaires don't have a job, but they still do something that brings in income, right? And then the second would be like your profit income. So if you buy a car and you sell a car, you made what? You made a profit, right?
Hopefully.
So you should.
Well,
Absolutely.
right.
I'm
That's the
glad
hope.
you said
That's
that.
the hope. Yeah, because once you drive the car off the lot, it's depreciated in value. So how do you return that investment?
Well, that's the thing. Why are you buying it from the lot in the first place?
Right.
And that's going to be a completely different conversation at another time. Most people do that, and those are one of the things that we talk about. When I was talking about where is your money going, where are you losing money? Most people lose right at the beginning. I've already had people talking to me right now, Fortress, talking about, well, I think I'll keep this money and I want to buy a car, and they feel that it's such a large investment, but it's one of those guzzlers. Of course, you're going to need transportation. Is it worth the $30,000? Could you be doing something else with that 30 that turns to 60,000 after you're done paying the loan? Right. So let's go back to these 7 sources of income, right? Mm-hmm. So your profit income is where you've literally generated a profit from selling something, right? And then you have your interest income. This is money that you get, of course, as a result of what? Lending your money to someone else. Right. Even now, most people say, well, I'm not interested in lending my money. I'm not interested in providing. Well, there's a lot of things that you do that you're already lending your money. Right. That's exactly.
Right. Banking is another. I don't want to be arrested for saying this, but banking is another. Just keeping your money sitting there.
Absolutely. There are many things that we're already currently doing, which is exactly that, right?
Right.
And okay, so now we talk about dividend income. That is the money that is earned from what? Your stock dividends.
Right.
Then there's rental income. Right? That is money that you earn as a result from renting out an asset that you have.
Right.
Like your house or a building. Then you have royalty income, right?
Right. Residual.
Absolutely. And you get that as a result of what? You can, something you wrote, something you produced, or someone else is using your product.
Right.
Right? Then capital gains. This is the money that what? You earn as a result of increasing value in your assets. So if you're looking at all these things, then you ask yourself, okay, what is it that I'm willing to do so that I can have 7 money clouds raining money on me every single month and towards my retirement? Would you now consider that as a risk, or is that a plan to live by?
Wow. That's not a risk anymore. Yeah.
But of course, you're going to, on the onset, there are things that you're going to have to do that are going to have give and take. Do you have enough to give and take? But you have multiple things that you should have going on and that should be bringing in income and generating. That will kind of soften the blow a little bit, because not everything is going to earn income the same way at the same rate at the same time.
Right.
Where you have some gains, you're going to have some losses, right? Where some areas will be up and the other areas are going to go down. But you want to make sure that your outlook in what it is that you want to do has multiple money clouds raining down. I want to wake up one day and be under this cloud, right? And the next day I have that cloud, and I can be hopping up and down, and I know I'm not going to be exposed to harsh weather because I've got multiple things coming in and working for me, even when the market does whatever it does. So right now, instead of sitting down and feeling pity and worrying, hey, I don't have money to buy stock and other people are buying stock and I don't even know which one to pick. Well, you've got multiple other options to choose. You should have 7 money clouds, right?
Right.
That dividend interest that you're getting and income, that's just one area. Well, what else are you doing? Are you out there writing a book? Are you developing online courses?
Speaking of writing a book right there, I understand you are soon to become an author?
Yes, I'm an upcoming author.
Wow. And is it going to be based on finance, money, business, or is just...
I have a bit of both.
Okay.
And there's multiple, actually, and which is fun. And you remember, I'll segue into what we just finished talking about.
Gotcha.
Let me go into that, right?
All right.
Having multiple things happening. I have multiple things that I love to tap into. Mm-hmm. And I think every human being must tap into their uniqueness. We all have different talents and we have different passions, and those things were built in so that they can bring you wealth, but you need to learn how to develop them and then express them and then monetize that as you express it, right?
Right.
So there are many areas that I'm interested in. I'm very interested in health and wealth because I've come to find out, Fortress, in all my years, being in the financial service industry and coaching and business building industry, the one biggest thing that all humans come prey to is health. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if your health, you can have all these big business plans, but you don't take care of your health, you don't take care of your health, you don't take care of your health, it can take all of that down.
That's huge.
That's one area that partnered with a couple of different individuals, and I have a passion about it, right? And I've seen it impacted individuals positively and others negatively, and that's one area. And then the second area that I'm passionate about, which is the first book that's going to come out, is personal development, is really getting into understanding the process. You've heard the saying, right, that most people will say, hey, trust the process, trust the process. What is the process, right?
Right.
What is the process of getting to success? You know, they say, okay, it takes time, just trust the process. And who am I supposed to become? You know, most people don't realize, and I've sat down with many different companies, people from different countries, age groups, name it, right? And what I've come to find out is that you have to become the success that you want your business to achieve.
Right.
You yourself have to become successful, but most people don't realize that. So you can put your money in somewhere so it can make money, but if your mentality and your routine, your character has not developed, you have not developed to become successful, to do the things of success, that success is going to be short-lived.
Right.
You find two individuals in the same industry, one is thriving and the other one could barely hold it together for 5 months. What's the difference?
Well, in a capitalist economy, take a sample size off 10 people. Give them $100 each. At the end of a stipulated duration of time, one person will have $1,000. Imagine that.
Right? And it's all in mindset. What is it that you've conditioned yourself to do, to be, that's going to pull you down?
Right.
Success, there's some people, you know, there's something called your success number. Most people will never become more successful than their number and their level of success. So give yourself a number from 1 to 10. Some people will be a 10 out of a 10. Some people, no matter how much money they make, no matter what exposure they get, if they're 5, they'll always fall back to a 5. And we'll talk about that subject at another time.
You know, I'm in a state of ambivalence, especially regarding to something as overt as the African proverb that refers to what is commonly known as the spirit of poverty. Is this immutable? You know, can that be overcome?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know I'm not trying to sidetrack, right? Can that be overcome?
It can absolutely be overcome. Acknowledging it. See, the change can only come, you know, I love this when we talk about transformation and change, because all this ties in together with finances. You are not going to become the person that you can't see yourself becoming and you don't see the need for change. So complete transformation, if we say, can that be changed? It means, can we transform from that completely? Yes. Transformation can happen and will happen if the need for change is not only understood, but it is internalized. If you understand it and you internalize it, then you can. And there's methods and ways to be able to do that. And programming that a person would need to literally go back in and reprogram yourself and become that person, think different thoughts, feel different feelings so that you can achieve the goal that it is that you want to achieve. And hundreds of thousands of people have been able to do that.
Right.
Now, this is where reaching out for help comes to play. This is where being able to get help from people that can coach you from where you are and tell you what they see in you that you probably see or don't see, and what has been holding you back so that you can move forward.
There you go.
So getting that help is going to be one of the biggest steps that's going to aid people, because you can learn for yourself, but getting that help is going to be of tremendous help.
Now, when it comes to finances, I'm pretty much autodidactic, and I've discovered over time that price is what you pay, value is what you get. It seems like there's a lot of financial institutions out there that like to make easy concepts much more difficult.
Absolutely.
I'm sure your clients enjoy your services because you are easy to understand.
Wow, I'm glad to hear that. So now let's talk about the type of wealth. Because most people, I think that they're sitting and focusing on the wrong things. So some people are sitting and, well, hey, what stock should I be buying? It's not the only form of wealth that is out there. It's not the only form of investing that is out there.
Okay.
And it is not the only definition of wealth that is out there, right?
Right.
So we mentioned, those 7 sources of income that you should be having. But let's talk about type of wealth, right?
Okay.
And then each person should have a time, even, when you sit there and say, okay, what is your goal right now, right? There's going to be financial wealth, which is your money. That's one type of wealth. So there's 4 that I want to talk about.
Okay.
And in that context, right? 4 types of wealth we want to talk about. So financial wealth, that's your money. But there's social wealth, which is your what? Social status. There's time wealth, which is your freedom. And then there's physical wealth, which is your health that we just finished talking about. So right now, if you cannot concentrate, if you do not physically are not able to go out and earn money, you're sitting at home, circumstances are beyond your control, that's just one form of wealth. How are you building your social standing? How are you improving that wealth? Because there is wealth in networking, right? And I don't want to spill it out, but what is social wealth? Right. What you and I are doing connecting right now is social wealth, right? Not only between you and I and everybody else who's going to hear this, right? You are sharing information.
Right.
This is your social responsibility. It's like, listen, I want to be a voice that can add and help and aid individuals, and I want to share that. You're sitting here, a Fortress, saying, what, I might not have all the answers, but I know some people who are connected, and I can connect these people, and these people can connect to other people, and I'm connecting with other people, and in turn, that is helping my status, that is helping my social wealth, and that's helping other people's social wealth, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of people out here sitting at home and watching other people on YouTube, but what are they doing? How are you building your wealth? There's just so much fun going on TikTok, right?
How are you building your social wealth? I love that.
How are you building that? How are you networking? This is the best time. Most people say, and I'm going to go to the next one, which is time. The reason why most people say they're broke, the reason why most people have the broke mentality is because they give themselves the no time mentality. They're so focused on not having time. It's almost like it's become a religion almost. Right? It's a religion of no time.
Surprisingly, there is time. Obviously, everybody has time to watch Netflix all weekend long and go out to the movies. Here's the thing. Risk then comes in to play because you have no clue or you don't know what you're doing at the time that you have.
So now when you are not too busy working, you have an abundance of wealth and time. It just depends on what you're focusing on. But most people are sitting at home causing themselves unknown sickness and disease because of stress, of worrying about, I don't have the wealth of money, but you have the wealth of time. But now you have freedom.
Whoa.
What are you doing with the freedom? Were you thinking of a side hustle? Do you have a side hustle? Can you create a side hustle?
Right.
Can you tap into your social wealth with the other people that can think bigger? Can you increase your social group, right? Who's in your social group?
Right.
Are you socializing with people that are better than you, that are wealthier than you? Are you socializing with people that are going somewhere that can give you ideas that you can tag on to and say, hey, what are you doing today? What do you think I should be doing today, right? You've got all this time, and now you have the freedom to tap into your core values again that I mentioned earlier. Who are you? What do you want to become? What do you want to achieve? What gives you joy? How can you develop those skills? Because you've got all the time in the world. Like, you've got the freedom to be exactly who you want to be.
Right. So now we got financial, we have social, we have time.
And the last one is the physical wealth, which is your health.
The health. Oh my gosh.
Most people are so focused on making money with their jobs, their 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever it is, right? And flying here and driving there and commuting here and all this. And their biggest excuse is, I don't have time. And I don't have time to eat right. I don't have time to prepare my meal. I don't have time to go. And right now, obviously, we've got the constraint of not physically going to the gym. But whoever said that to be in good health, you've got to go to a physical gym? You can exercise at home. You can log on now that you have the wealth in time. There's a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of people on Instagram that have all kinds of home workouts and physical exercises that you could do without weights, with your body. There's dances, there's Zumbas, there's all kinds of things. So now that you do not have the I don't have time excuse, how are you tapping into all the other areas of the wealth that you have? You see, the best part and the first part of building wealth and becoming wealthy is having gratitude for the things that you do have. You're not going to become the wealthiest person in the world if you can't stop and have gratitude. Because then you do not have a floor plan. You do not have a foundation for the success that you're trying to build. It's going to need a foundation. It's going to need strong pillars to hold it up. But if you do not have gratitude, if you cannot stop and smell the roses,
that is crazy.
Then whatever it is that you're going to have, you will not have fulfillment. If you do not have fulfillment, you will not reach success, no matter how much money.
So you're making me want to go back out and find more money right now. I'm so fired up right now. I'm so amped up. I want to go out. Can we just hang up so I can go make money? This is what you do. And I'm feeling it right now. That energy, I felt it. And I'm feeling it. While we're here, right, before we go any further, drop your how can people get in touch with you? Website, Instagram, which is crucial nowadays too. Facebook, even though Facebook is kind of personal. So Instagram, your website, your phone number? Nah, they'll get your website will provide that.
No, I have a business phone number. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. So my website, of course, is go to Success Strategy Connect Inc. INC at the end.com, right? So it's Success Strategy Connect Inc., which is only INC.com. And
I'll leave a comment in the description as well that details that. But
awesome. And then if on Instagram as well as Tafara Rob. You can go on there, and on Instagram, of course, you have the link is in my bio for the website. And anyone who wants a consultation, you go on the website, you kind of click in the form that'll populate, and let's connect. You ask in, put in the question, hey, you want a consultation for business, you want personal growth, hey, you want to just be at the top of your game, you want to understand what's been holding you back. You want to figure out, hey, what areas should I be looking into? If I can't go back to work, and this is one thing I want to talk about, which is very crucial right now, Fortress, is, okay, so if the quarantine is all over and now people can go back to work, but my company has downsized or my company no longer exists, this is one thing that you need to utilize this time wealth and this physical wealth and social wealth for, because you probably need to spend this time reinventing yourself. You need to be able to spend that time and asking yourself, well, what else can I do, right? And part of what we do, we'll provide you with that. We'll tell you some of the industries that are booming, industries that do well, even in a recession. Some of the things that you can do online. You know, I had a talk, and that's why my voice is spent already. I had a talk earlier that was put on by some college groups, and they're trying to kind of keep everybody together, and kids that are in college that, we're supplementing their income, and they're like, listen, we want to work. We don't want to sit down at home and work, but we can't physically go out there and work. What can we do, right?
Right.
And it's crazy. And I was throwing out ideas for them. I was like, hey, you know what? You can do freelance stuff. Go on Fiverr, freelance, they're like, wait, what's that, right? And we talked about a lot of fun stuff that people can be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a lot of things that people could be taking advantage of. And those are the things that we want to be able to do to give you guys hope. Anyone who's listening out there, if you say, listen, I don't know where to begin, or after all this time sitting at home, I've come to the truth of who I am.
Right.
And I don't want to do this job anymore. I want to pursue this, and how do I pursue it? So we help to establish companies. I've set up, I think, this year, in the first quarter, we have set up 40 S-Corps and LLCs and sole proprietor companies, businesses that we've already set up,
right,
and that are running from January up until now. So we help individuals to set up, if they've never been in an industry, hey, how do I incorporate? How do I take my small deal here instead of just doing my DBA, and how do I get a license? How do I maneuver through that? How do I get myself going and do it the right way and get a business loan and do all the fun stuff? And so we help individuals with that. If you have those questions,
mm-hmm,
go on the website, request an appointment. And of course, we can do virtual appointments right now. We can talk on the phone if you don't have the ability to do video conferencing and whatnot. And we'll meet you where you are. We'll provide education skills. On the website too, there's this personal development. I've put out stuff there that's free for you guys, those that are willing to develop themselves, that want something to read in this downtime, right?
right,
To build their wealth, right? To build their wealth in knowledge, to build their stamina. Hey, how do I become a better person? How do I become better, stronger, wiser?
right.
So we'll give you links on multiple different things that can help you out in there.
So much information. And the beauty of podcast is that one can listen and go back again and listen. If you miss something, you listen again and do it until you master this. And all this information is free, courtesy of Tafara. Thank you so much for opening up, because I know this is so much and you're giving it out for free. And that's just who you are. And I know that for sure. You like to help people. That's
Absolutely.
your passion. And I believe that. And I know this is going to change a lot of lives. I know it's going to change a lot of minds when they transition from poverty to
Absolutely.
wealth. Believe it or not, I don't know where the idea of actually being that ambitious, being smothered or being put down. I don't know where that came from, but I think that everybody does look forward to becoming, financially free. And when we talk about financial freedom, which opens up insurmountable doors, allows you to travel, allows you to spend time with family, which a lot of people don't have, and that's wealthy. But I love all the 4 keys that you gave us to unlock all the 4 doors of social, physical, and so forth. That was beautiful. I love that. On top of the 7, I call them the 7-leg spider.
Yeah.
And that everybody should have. Anyway, in wrapping this up, how do you actually unlock? I know, because sometimes it's hard for anybody to convince anybody to be able to be susceptible to allow somebody else to manage their finances. You are already good at it, moving somebody to actually allow them to open their minds. Because at the end of the day, is it Harriet Tubman that said that she could have freed more people if only they knew they were slaves?
Yeah.
I use that analogy as it perfectly exemplifies millions, if not billions, of people who sit in their complacency as a result of having a 9-to-5 that pays handsomely. But at the end of the day, you are not able to make financial decisions that affect your personal life.
Right.
Therefore, you are not 100% free.
This is the eye opener now, right? This time frame, when things happen in life like this,
right,
they really do open our eyes to say, am I really in control? Am I really basing my life? There are some people that have given up relationships for a job.
Right.
There are some people that have given up their health for a job. There are some people that have given up their passions for a job that can easily be taken away from you,
right,
and then have the scare of health. And then if you weren't taking care of yourself already, and then now we've got this global pandemic, and you're thinking, man, I worked so hard. My body is a wreck. My mind is a wreck. How do I put myself back together?
Right.
So sometimes life puts us in situations where we have to sit and reevaluate. And because we are good at what we've been doing, so most people are good at, a doctor is going to be good at being a doctor, right? An accountant is going to be good at being a doctor, an accountant, a
Right.
software specialist is going to be good at that.
Right.
And you're good at what you do. We give you credit for what you do, but you
Right.
now need help for you to be able to transition.
Maximize the potential. Right.
And I'll be very honest with you and completely transparent is that I work with people that have come to the place where they want the help. And that's one thing that you mentioned I was going to tell you. That is the key. Knowing that I want the help. When you want the help and you realize my life can be better. Now, what's going to happen is right now, when we come out of this deal, and we're coming out, nothing lasts forever.
Right.
Some people are going to become so wealthy beyond recognition.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Other people are going to become so impoverished beyond recognition, and it is only going to be as a matter of the choices that they make and the habits that they're forming. And this is why I mentioned those keys. I didn't mention that just as, a broad subject, but I needed to hit home. Those 4 areas of wealth is extremely important because what you're doing right now is developing habits that can make you or break you. So here's the deal. It takes 21 days to build a habit. But the reality, and most people hear this and this is what they go by. But the reality of it is that it takes 66 days for the habit to stick. So if you're home for the first 30 days, whatever you've been doing, your body becomes accustomed. You've built a habit of that. So if you're sitting at home and not paying bills and saying, well, I'm going to take this money and blow it. I'm not paying my rent. I'm not paying. You're building habit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting at home and eating donuts and I'm just going to be depressed. I'm going to watch TV. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not going even to my backyard. You're building a habit. But then if this continues for the next month, another month, that's 60 days, another month. Wow. Now that habit is ingrained. Who you've become is no longer the person you were before quarantine. So you can't come out of this and blame the coronavirus because you've had 90% part a role to play in who you're going to become and the outcome of who you're going to be.
Exactly.
The government is doing their part.
Right.
Yes, they understand that this situation has happened beyond anybody's control. Okay, they're saying, okay, we want to give you aid. Of course, it's not going to answer all your problems. It's not going to pay all your bills, but it's aid, right?
Right.
What you are doing with your time and your mental stamina, you're developing a beast that is going to be the wealthiest person or a beast that you would not want to be living with or become, or you'd want to look back and say, I am that guy or I associated with that guy.
Right.
Now, do you realize the need for change after that? Because all it is an all-in understanding is what is happening. How am I impacting myself? How can I impact myself more positively?
Right.
How can I get the help that I need? And guess what? Shop around for the help. Yes, I'm here. And I'm proud to say that. I'm actually excited to say that. Don't just come to me alone, right? I actually like people that have shopped around before because now you're building your knowledge base, right?
Right.
Look around. Hey, read on something. As I was mentioning to you, build your knowledge base, right? There's stuff like TEDx. Why are you not watching that to develop your mental stamina?
Right.
Right? Develop that skill, your core values.
But on another note, again, just to piggyback on what you said, you talked about 21 days. Funny how we have 21-day quarantine. But anyway, that's for another day again. So we have 21 days, right, to build a habit. So 21 days, it takes 21 days to build a habit. And then you said 66 days to build a character?
60.
I mean, by then it's a character, right?
Right. It takes 66 days for that habit to stick.
Now, for someone who is, that might be too much to comprehend, right? 21 days is too much. You actually posted something on Instagram that said the secret of your success is found in your daily routine. And I loved it when I read it a couple of weeks ago. So if the 21 days is too much for you to comprehend, one day at a time might be better that way.
Absolutely. Now, the reality is this, is that one must understand the fact that the days are passing and the days are coming, right?
Right.
And with the knowledge and the understanding that in 21 days, whatever I'm repeating is going to become a new normal. And my body, you see, the mind and the body learns by repetition, and this is going to become another conversation. So part of the stuff we talked about, this is why I had to become an author, because as I'm learning a lot of things and I see where the pitfalls are, it's like, man, it's just bubbling inside of me. And I feel like, oh my God, I need to share this. Like, people need to know this stuff. This is why people are failing, right? This is why people have a broke mindset and a weak mentality. And some people have a strength and they have a wealth mentality. And those daily rituals, literally they are, because then they become automated. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you do so many things that your body just knows to do, whether you're conscious or not.
Right. Programming.
And some of those things are what is literally going to break you or make you. Right? So when you come out of this thing, and if we're using our time wealth so well, Fortress, if we invest in that, and I want to say into that, because me telling people to invest in time is not going to make me money as a financial consultant, right? I'm not saying come to me and I'll show you where to invest and where to put your money, but the reality is, by the time we sit and talk about your money, I want you to be able to enjoy it and live life to see it, but become transformed in the process, because that's what success is all about. True. But if you can't take this time and invest in yourself and follow the right people, because if you don't know how to become successful, there's so many other people. It's crazy. When I ask people, who do you follow on Facebook? Who do you follow on Instagram, right?
Wow.
What are you feeding off of?
Right.
And it's crazy when my friends come to me and they literally, would come and say, I want to see who you're following, right? And they're like, wait, what? This is so boring. Why do you follow this person?
Exactly.
This guy his stuff is all like he's a billionaire. I want to know how he thinks. I want to know why he drinks what he drinks. I want to know why he eats what he's eating, and why he went to that particular store. I want to know what made him choose khaki pants instead of a Versace type of pants or sweater. I want to know his decision, why he makes the decisions that he makes, and his family life. I want to understand that, because there's nothing wrong with copying as long as you copy the right cat, right?
Right.
And I'm going to copy the right cat, but I want to copy someone that I aspire to be like.
Right.
And I want to understand what that lifestyle is about, right? So I'm investing my time right now with the freedom that I have. I'm investing in that, in learning, hey, when I become a billionaire, what am I going to do? And I find out, wow, these guys have all these, philanthropic endeavors. Like, they're spending money here. They've got this charity. And I was like, wow, okay, well, where would I want to put my money? What charities am I interested in, right?
Right.
So now it's got my mind thinking in a different way completely. Instead of give me, I don't have, and I need to get more and make more. I'm thinking, well, when I make, I need to give.
Right.
But I only got that by the right associations. Now, you can associate with someone without literally having to know them. And that's the beauty of what social media, right?
Exactly.
And I'll end with this one note, is the key to everything, to survival, to making it.
Yeah.
Whether you've made a lot of money, and I know it's painful times right now. There's a lot of people who have based their whole existence in what their retirement will look like in their 401k,
right.
in their job-given retirement account. And and I want to just break this down to people. It was never meant to be your sole source for retirement security. It was only meant to supplement your retirement. It was not ever created
That's not
to be your sole source.
Makes sense.
Of Right. You're supposed to do all these other things we mentioned, those spider webs that you called. What did you call them? The octopus legs,
The
right?
spider legs. Spider legs.
That's right.
Yeah, my dad always said, be a spider.
Yes,
Never made
sir.
sense to me when I was a kid.
But it does now, right?
And it makes a whole lot of sense now.
Right.
Chop one leg off, right? You still got other legs.
You still got other legs and you can still continue. And I know people are suffering and looking at their accounts and they're bleeding away. And, whoever is managing their funds or whatever it is that they're doing, if they want to look at it and say, look, did they choose an extremely aggressive portfolio? And if it's aggressive, then they might want to look into something that's not so aggressive, right?
Right.
Something more conservative so they don't bleed out everything. And now, in case they do, and we've been there before, back in 2005 to 8 and 9, when we went through these cycles before, you're going to live through it. The key to living through anything and everything, and even those people that we were talking about, hey, other people are going to make a killing right now. They're buying when it's low and then they're going to sell. Whatever method that most people are doing, the key is adaptability.
Right.
You got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to morph with it. You cannot resist the change that's upon us. It's here.
It's here.
You cannot sit in denial and say, I'm not losing money in my 401k. Well, heck yeah, you are. It's not good. You don't like it. It's not your fault. Yes, but it's happening. Don't sit there and being in denial about it because it is what is happening, right?
That's true.
You're sitting there and saying, I don't have money in the bank and I'm just going to pretend I don't. I'm just going to go drink some beer and wait for this or sell that. You need to figure out, how can I invest my time right now? Do not be in denial. Adapt.
Right.
Humanity. This is what we do as humans. This is what we do as humankind. We adapt.
Are you open for a part 2? Because, I feel like you were just getting charged up and you can go on and on and on and on. I want to touch on the areas of index funds and so forth, because I know there's a multitude of people that just don't understand how those work, and that brings in fear.
Yeah.
That actually drives more people not to know how to flip their money or allocate their money appropriately.
Yeah.
So we can talk about it offline too. How people can choose whether or not to trust. Do you actually support index funds?
Depending on the vehicle, yes, I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's multiple ways out there to invest. And I know you talked about not just talking about stocks and all that stuff. There's more.
Yeah.
And I like that. On that note, whoever is listening out there, the beauty of podcasts is that you can always rewind, play it again while you're driving, play it again while you're showering, play it over and over again, but don't let the knowledge just go to waste. Act on it. Give her a shout out, follow her on Instagram, check out her website, and hope you enjoy the podcast. On this note, It's early in the morning. It's time to go make that money. What are you sitting there for? Subscribe to this channel if you like it. Hit that like button. Follow me on Instagram on Mr. Fortress, the number 4, TRESS, Fortress Lens, and Forterature. Also check out my website on www.fortresslens.com. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope we do this again soon.
All right. Thank you, Fortress.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
All right.